it doesn't feel great to have someone to have the government who is struggling to educate in the public school sector to tell us how we should educate our children.
We want to choose what we teach our kids, how we raise our kids, how we instruct them. So we're concerned that this is cracking that door open.
All right, as President Trump gets ready to sign an executive order just a short time from now abolishing the education department, Illinois parents are fighting to protect their rights from the bureaucrats. A new state bill could impose regulations over homeschooling families and even private and parochial schools. Joining us now is homeschooling father of 8, Dave Smith, and Illinois State Representative Chris Miller. Dave, I want to start with you first because you obviously will be directly impacted by this. You choose to homeschool your kids. They're now saying with this bill, they want your information and potentially they want control over what and how you're teaching your kids. What is your reaction to it?
Absolutely not. They have no authority. They have no right to come into my home and tell me and my wife how we should raise our children. You know, the sponsor of this bill, one of the reasons she gave for promoting or pushing this bill is because she believes some homeschooling parents aren't doing it the right way. But if you look at what the public schools are doing in Illinois, we have less than 32% of students who are proficient in English language arts. We only have 27% who are proficient in math. We spend $19,000 per student. By the way, if I spent that kind of money on my kids, they'd be like living it up big time. We spend about $2,000 a year on our kids. But they only get an 88% graduation rate, which means 228,000 students here in Illinois are falling through the cracks. And at the same time, 1 in 10 students are sexually exploited by an adult in the school system. So Sandra, they're failing our kids academically, they're failing to protect them physically, and they don't seem to care about protecting our daughters from confused men in their private spaces and in their sports.
I mean, Chris,
we have lots of good reasons.
Dave, you are an incredible father, and I don't think anybody doubts that who hears the passion in your voice for your 8 children, that you are trying to give the best education possible. And Chris, these parents like Dave are saying, wait, you want to take your failed public school model and bring that into my home? That is the problem and the issue so many of these parents are taking up. This was one of them. Nicole Georges joined us on this program. She has told us the story about the problems in the locker rooms in the public school, and Shannon Addick is a big advocate for these parents, both of them here.
What the scariest thing is, this sets such a dangerous precedent for girls everywhere by allowing men into safe spaces. The district needs to respect Title IX. There's federal protections that are in place.
You're right. This is a radical attack on homeschool, and it's just a simple attack on liberty. That's what we're dealing with here in the state of Illinois. These radical woke legislators in Pritzker on down, they are trying to dismantle liberty piece by piece.
You know, Chris, and you look at the Illinois student proficiency scores for reading, 39%, math, under 28%. To Dave's point, what the heck is going on in Illinois?
That's right.
Well, it's pretty amazing when you look at the landscape of all this. The educational industrial complex is in full attack mode because they don't like it when we have independent thought. And one thing about home educators, I actually my wife and I home educated our 7 children also. So Dave's got me beat by 1, but this is a topic that's near and dear to my heart because the government schools are an abject failure, and I think the last thing that they need is more to do. I would say that they probably need to sweep their own porch before they decide to try to come over and tyrannize the homeschoolers and the private schoolers into getting them into the same failed policies that they're involved in.
Well said, Chris. This is an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal headline, "The Never-Ending War on Homeschooling." Chris, Dave, I'll get your immediate thought on this. Kids don't belong to the government. They belong, if that's even the right word, to their families. The state exists to serve citizens, not to command their attendance in government schools. The left struggles with this. And so, Dave, I wonder how you're going to handle this. I mean, mean, this did pass in that vote yesterday. We'll see where this goes next. But if you are demanded as a homeschooling parent to turn over all your private information, which apparently, as I read through that bill, includes your religious affiliation and more, are you going to turn it over? They're saying you'll go to jail for 30 days if you don't.
Well, first of all, we're going to fight this bill in the House and then in the Illinois Senate to try to stop it. And then we're hoping that the Homeschool Legal Defense Association will challenge it if it does get passed into the law. But I'll tell you what, Sandra, there are a lot of families like my own who will exit Illinois rather than submit to a tyrannical, godless government like Illinois.
Wow. Well, we certainly hope for the sake of the children in that state that they get things in order and figure this out, because it's a bit of a mess.
That's right.
And the kids are what matter the most. And Chris and Dave, we appreciate you joining us. We will certainly, Dave, we'll check back in with you. And we love seeing the pictures of your beautiful children on the wall there. Thank you so much.
You got it. Thank you, Sandra.
All right, Chris, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, John.